I would like to introduce this book to you. It's called Culture Shock in Japan. It's about culture shocks that international students have experienced while living in Japan. It also has the kind of shocks that I experienced when I came to Japan. I think this book is useful for people who want to come and study and live here. You can see the book. It has our profile here, and it has stories about different aspects of life in Japan. I'm sure you'll enjoy reading it. Thank you. The book has a culture shock from students from around the world that they have experienced in Japan. It has some trivial or interesting stories about shock on Japanese food, crowded trains, small houses, small space, and more serious issues such as being lonely, not having enough friends, not understanding the culture, and more serious issues. The book also has culture shocks that I experienced when I came to Japan 21 years ago, and I think we all experience a culture shock when we go to a new place. It's not only limited to Japan. People even within the country go from one region to another region, experience culture shock. But Japan is a unique country, and we felt that the culture shock here is different than what people experience in other places. And I think this book will be useful for individuals who plan to come and work here, or plan to come and live here for a short time or a few years. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of it by reading it. My wife and I wrote this book because we come from a diverse background. Of course, she's Japanese and I was raised in the US, and we have been exposed to various cultures throughout our lives. Our children are away from home in the States studying, and we have many friends from different countries and background. So we feel that our experience and knowledge is helpful in getting the students settled down in a new environment. I am an associate professor at聖学院 University in Japan, and have been living here in Saitama, Japan since 1989. That makes it about more than 21 years. Although I teach English and also teach some subjects in English, my interest has always been in culture and communication. I met my wife Yuriko in California a long time ago. At the time we were students, and she graduated from UC Santa Cruz and then received her MBA degree from Andrew Jackson University. I also have myself an MBA degree from National University. She works at the International Center at聖学院 University, where she helps foreign students about their academic questions they have, sometimes about their lives and problems they have. So we both have extensive experience working and living in an international environment. I think the reason we wrote this book is that I think it's useful for and helpful for Japanese to know how foreign students feel in Japan or how they see things in Japan. The views experience that students have shown here is based on their short and long-term experience here. Some of them may be accurate, some of them may be just based on misunderstanding, but overall I think this is what they have to say. And in long term it will be beneficial for Japanese and people in the educational field to know what kind of things international students go through and how we can help them. Since I have been living in Japan for more than 21 years, I felt that by including my experience in Japan, I could give a different perspective and view to the stories that is shared by the students in this book. Some of the observations that the students have made is based on the time they've been here, short time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And again, it could be accurate, it could be misunderstanding, but I went through the same thing and is still going through the same thing in Japan. So I think by including my experience, I give a new perspective, maybe deeper perspective to what students feel or how they see things in Japan. The culture shock happens anywhere, as I said before, but it would be good to evaluate them from various aspects and perspectives. Every culture has its own history, its own customs, and of course there's always rules and reason why people behave and act certain ways. And we should try to understand each other through communication.